brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you are free to pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, war in Africa, Ukraine and Russia, any issue. And you can interrupt us at any time and introduce your own subject matter. We express our views and opinion on any issue, particularly politics. Opinions are not facts. They are not cast in stone. And if we have new information, we change in your opinion. But where Grenada politics in particular is concerned, you could get our opinion on any issue. The number to call is 442-0175. We don't like too much rules, but we encourage people to respect one another. You could always take issue with me, it doesn't matter. But callers gonna call and have different opinion. They don't have to agree with us. We encourage the government of the day not to hide from the press. Don't hide. Take our people in confidence and explain to them what you are doing, why you're doing it. Give justification, give reasons, give rationale. We encourage our own people that we could settle problems in our home. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
How are you?
Great, man.
I had an experience yesterday, and I thought I'll share it. Yeah?
Yeah.
I came from Grenville going towards Ladig, and before I got to that junction in Carroll there, I saw a car coming towards me, and I thought there was sufficient space for the two vehicles to pass. Even a truck would have been able to pass there easily. And when I thought I had gone, I felt a knock on my door, and that was my mirror that was knocked by the mirror from the other car. Quickly, I looked through my mirror, my side mirror, and I noticed that the mirror on the car that I knocked, let me put it that way, the car that I knocked, I noticed that the mirror was intact. I saw that mine was intact too. So I feel glad, all right? And then the lady stopped. It was a lady driving. She stopped. It was two of them, ladies in the car. The car stopped, and I noticed that the lady came out and was talking. So I stopped, and I started walking back. Well, at first I parked on the side, and I started walking back to her. And she coming towards me, and she was looking kind of furious. I said, "Miss, apparently you damaged my mirror," and she started letting it go on me. So, some things that my parents used to make.
Some explicit.
Some things that my parents used to make me. And she started. I said, "Hold on, no, take it easy." I said, "Apparently you damaged my mirror." No, I told her before that my mirror wasn't damaged, right?
Yeah.
But I told her so because I noticed her mirror wasn't damaged also. And she's coming and she's looking furious. And this lady continued, and I marveled when I listened to the news yesterday, when I heard that fellow took a blade and rest it on his other one neck. That was in
River Sally.
River Sally, yes. So I was telling the lady, I said, "Look, apparently you damaged my mirror." I was calm and glad that nothing happened. If you understand, I was calm and glad that nothing happened. And the lady started saying, "Oh, a little thing because women, all you could do what all you want," and blah, 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 blah. And she started getting on. Because it's woman, all you feel I could do all you. I haven't told the lady a thing yet. All I said is that apparently you damaged my mirror. But inside I'm laughing. I'm glad that nothing happened to the vehicles. And the lady said, "That's why people just take cutlass and chop up all you." That's why people just take cutlass and chop up all you. And I marveled when the lady said so. You know why? I had a cutlass in my car. I had a cutlass in my car while she was saying that. I'm almost certain she had nothing because I came from the garden all the other day. You know? And so we need to be so careful. What is it about a car? What is it about a mirror? If ever, let's say the mirror is damaged, what is it about a mirror that you're thinking about a cutlass to chop me up? Are you mad? What kind of world we living in Grenada now? What kind of things happening here? You know, because the fact is that I'm feeling so glad that nothing happened, you know, but I'm still trying to give her the satisfaction, benefit of the doubt, and go to talk to her because there was an incident. Both of the vehicles, let's say, could have gone further on the side of the road because there was sufficient room for 2 trucks to pass there for that matter. But even then, there's no need for that. And we need, Mr. Pierre, we need to understand the kind of world we're living in. We need to be better than that. The vehicle is better than me, she's trying to say. So she could chop me up for her vehicle. That just doesn't make sense. And I'm calling on people nowadays. We need to know how to resolve problems. And there are some things that we call a problem that is no problem at all. Things that we could laugh at the end of the day. I don't know the lady. I know the lady she was with, and I have to talk to the lady that she was with. I'll try to see her later on today to talk to her. But I'm saying those things doesn't make sense. Whether it was 2 men, 2 women, or a lady and a man, those things does not make sense. Let us try to resolve problem instead of compounding them.
I agree with you, Colin. I agree with you on that.
Thank you very much.
And sometimes you look at the economic importance of it. Because even if you have a damage to a vehicle under $300, $400, $500, and the time you have to spend in going to court if you're a busy person, sometimes you don't want it. But the level of aggressiveness that is shown by drivers on the road is not necessary. Remember, you have a vehicle and the vehicle is insured. And you are not perfect. So you're going to make mistakes sometimes. Sometimes you're wrong, sometimes I wrong, sometimes we don't know who wrong. Sometimes both of us right. Normally both of us right. And even if you have to call in the police, it doesn't mean that you have to go to war. But you see that every day on the road. And the younger ones, I don't know if it is fair to say the younger ones are more aggressive or the older ones afraid the young ones more. But you find a lot of aggression on the road. And the women, too, are getting very, very aggressive on the road. I notice our women, well, they no longer meek, mild women. They equal in defense and production, so they prepare to fight with you, too. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, yeah. Well, I want people only meet me at 2 and tell me about some information. I'm not working with cocoa board. I'm not working with nutmeg board. I'm not going about it. Go and get information for yourself. Because you have passed by me every day, partly every day, passing morning, noon, and night. You should stop and ask me a question and don't make people feel now I so pressed in a low party. Now, I mean, I am an NDC supporter. And the person see my flag in front of my door every day. So if you want to ask me something concerning the meeting or whatever, I don't have to call your program for you to ask me about how meeting go.
All right, thank you, my brother.
Now, well, I'm listening to you. Now, I mean, I wanted to talk about the 3 old vehicles pack up on the roadside in Carrier. I'm talking about all the corruption and all the mess the NMP live inside.
You see,
Mr. Pierre, without
culture man, that is the problem.
Yes.
When I call for you, you don't ask me what I call for you. You give me a barrage of discipline. And then you're telling me talk about that.
Because
but culture man, somebody tell you that. Why you didn't ask me what you're calling me for? You give me a
Well,
barrage of thing.
But they told me that you say, call and give you some information about the meeting.
But why
And
do
I never went to the meeting. I don't care about Coco meeting or what ever meeting. Meeting does not put food in my table.
But
Nobody
culture.
at all does not put food in my kitchen.
But culture,
Yes.
you are a regular caller on radio. Speak it. Culture, hear me out a while. You see, I just listen to you. You're a regular caller on radio speaking about agriculture issues. The road, nutmeg, cocoa, pay, back pay. You always speak about that. You are no name in the whole country. So culture. So if I hear something, I say my partner culture must go in the meeting. And I say, if you know, I'm going to ask you, I wouldn't ask you thing about NNP. But I know if it's something about NDC, I might ask you. Culture.
So-
if I hear
so
something
what you
about
talking about the
culture,
NDC?
culture. If I hear something about cocoa, I go ask you. All right, let me ask you something about NDC. Why you believe NDC removed this $150 from the elderly?
Because it was temporary, just because it was the election. They put the 150 also, whatever, how much. And after the election, if the NMP won the election, he could have taken me, the former Prime Minister could have been going to draw back out the 150.
So that is why NDC removed it, because the former Prime Minister put it?
Because he had what to come out. That was just for the election.
Okay,
campaign
thank you.
and for the election.
And you're satisfied with that culture?
I satisfied that.
You
Well, if
satisfied?
he have to come out, he have to come out.
I ask you, culture.
Mr. Pierre,
Culture.
He have a lot,
Culture.
He have a lot of people don't
Culture.
need it and give people who need it.
Culture.
Now, yeah, Mr. Pierre, listening to, we don't make an argument to you. Okay.
Culture. You satisfied to take out the $150 from everybody?
Well, not everybody.
They take it out
If
from
one
some?
or two, I'm not getting nothing. But I'm saying, Mr. Pierre,
Your culture,
he
you
have a
don't,
lot of-
culture, you're not an old person. Why you want money for? You're
Mr.
not an
Pierre.
elderly.
Mr. Pierre,
You're
I
a
don't
young
need-
man.
Mr. Pierre, ask a question. Hey, now, don't get mad with me. Now, it have a lot of young people. They don't deserve the money what they used to get, because this money was on the list for them to get to set of the election. So now every 5 years now, these same people now, they come back and vote the former Prime Minister back in office, because their names are already there on the list to go and judge it $450 or more dollars. And the seed money too, because a lot of people used to collect all the seed money for the children money, whatever. They didn't used to send the children to school, especially for upper center up there, because I was living up there.
So,
And I could
so
tell you
culture,
that.
culture.
They didn't used to send their children to school, and to tomorrow now we giving the government ban them and say about children cannot go to school,
So
and children
culture.
cannot go to school.
Culture.
Yeah,
now
Mr. Pierre, listen to-
now that they take out the money from the children who was given in St. John, would they go to school at all?
Mr. Pierre,
Huh?
I told you what I have to tell you. Let me,
Alright, okay.
give me a little bit more to me.
Alright,
because
thank
I
you.
know, Mr. Pierre, when I
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. And Culture is an active individual on the radio about agriculture and etc. And he used to tell me when cocoa, buying cocoa. He stopped telling me. I wanted to know what they pay back pay and manual. That is why I call Culture. So I got to stop calling Culture to back me up. He's a good, vibrant farmer. And Culture don't qualify yet for seed money because he's a big farmer and he's a young man. So it's important, you know. However, the issues, I always advance the view that we could solve problem and we must able to sit down and discuss issues and solve problem. And we have to start in the home because we have to encourage our children. Not every issue you must fight over. For instance, when you go to a function, look at the food that they're giving there and put a value on food. And ask yourself, would I fight for $5 or $10? And rather than go and fight for $5 or $10, better you buy a pack of biscuit and cheese and eat, man. You ain't looking good. Sometimes you see people fighting over accidents. The accident is about $100. Sometimes it's cheaper for you to just greet one another and go. And we have to be confrontational because you want to win, I want to win. But both of us could win. But this thing have to be a culture where we encourage our children to discuss issues. Even in our own homes. Well, remember, 60% of the household in Grenada are led by women. 60%. And women very powerful with the other 40% concerned. Because sometimes the man leads in the house, but he can't squeak. So we have to develop the culture discussing issue. If we have financial issues, we come around the table and discuss it. Only $3,000 is the income coming in inside his house. And look at all the bills we have to pay. You could even take a paper and mark them down. And then we are not left with enough money. What could we do to improve the income in the house, or what we could cut out? If daddy drinking 3 beers a day, any good drinker drinking 3 beers a day, that's about $10, $12. That is over $3,500 that daddy might be spending in alcohol. So maybe daddy could drink 1 beer and drink Coke Cousin or Confusion Rum. So he will still get the alcohol to drink, but maybe he's going to drink less. He's going to spend less money. Or maybe mommy could start to make wine. So rather on Friday and weekend that he must go in the club, she encouraged him to drink wine she make right home. We have to find ways, creative ways. Sometimes the son in secondary school perhaps may able to grow the seasoning. Grenadians like to season food. I'm absolutely certain we spend more than $10 a week in seasoning. Could you imagine you have a Form 1 student or you have a student in primary school producing all the seasoning that you need in the house? And you could give him $10 a week. And that is over $500 and something at the end of the year. And perhaps he could start an account. Who knows? He might get so nice, he might be selling seasoning for the neighbors. We have to be creative. Every show that international show or regional show that take place in Grenada is a sellout. And nothing is wrong in parents going and like the shows. Nothing is wrong with that. But maybe that show should motivate you to encourage your child to learn to play music. Sometimes you have to ask a neighbor who could play guitar to teach your child the guitar. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good evening again.
Yeah.
Cultureman made a statement the other day that he went to Granance and he was lauding the government, praising the government for planting flowers on the Kirani James Boulevard. Well, apparently he didn't go to town for the past 100 years. So he sees some flowers down there and somehow he end up thinking that is the government responsible for that in recent times. That's not true. Out of the question. I live in the area. I live downtown area nowadays. So I know and I'm usually in that area. I don't know what he's talking about because that flowers has been there time immemorial.
This is Lionel Connell.
In Lionel Connell. Well, since Donkey had what another thing as a foot or something like that. Yes. And to the caller who met in the accident, if you want to see a bad man, you think that the lady bad? Let me bounce my car down have and you're sure what happened to him. That's the kind of hastiness we have on that road, on the road nowadays, eh? Grenadians are busy going nowhere. So that in some situation where you could just hold back a little and let the other vehicle pass, take your time and pass, both trying to pass with the speed. And you have this kind of thing happening. Unnecessary accidents in this country so much. The police are reporting accidents to the extent that they are even puzzled and baffled by themselves. the amount of accident that is happening unnecessarily in this country. But glad to hear him that he's saying that no real damage was done. And then he had a good attitude towards the whole issue.
Yes, he had a good attitude. Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that we need to have in this country. Yeah. Because we're having too much confusion. The guy who allegedly killed the other one in River is a little guy I know very well. Me and him used to chat a lot. And I know his attitude. I know his mentality.
It seems as though it's a whole family, one yard, a story that gets a little out of hand.
The one who died, I don't actually think I know him. Because the time I left River Sally and been out of River Sally for a while, he would have made born and go during that time. And left I understand he lives in Victoria or something like that. Unfortunately, sorry about that.
Yeah, may his soul rest in peace.
But Mr. Pierre, I was looking so much today, looking forward for a press conference that was announced for 10 o'clock.
They cancelled?
I don't understand what is really going on.
I really stopped looking. I stopped bothering about them.
You stopped bothering?
I stopped bothering about them in press conference.
Because I look forward to these things. I need information.
I think
from the government as to what actually is going on in the country.
I think the embarrassing moderate NDCs are being embarrassed. And that is why some of them hiding away from asking questions or responding to questions.
This morning, Mr. Connell was on. That's my good partner, my real partner. When I beating up on him, so I want to defend him, but I can't. You know, where's my boy?
I love him.
No, I'm not Canadian. You Canadian.
We normally advise him to give back the people $150. No compromise. Or give us economic justification.
He justified this morning, so you don't expect it to happen. It won't happen. But this morning he made an interesting statement that the CBI program did well for Grenada. I was so glad to hear him say that. Do you know that one of the programs that the NDC people all through the years has been bashing the most?
CBI.
The CBI program. And it was...
Yeah, caller? Well, it's... All right, we lost that caller. We're sorry, but... Yes, so we... Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, sorry, I call back. Let me clarify something, please. I never call about planting flowers or okra. I never used to. I would not waste my time and say about plant flowers and plant flowers. I will say plant a cocoa tree or a fig tree or not.
You want to plant a cocoa tree in Granans?
Colors, listen good, listen.
Culture. Tell us what you said.
I said, down on the Lagoon Road, I see this place that how they clean up this place there, and with all the old boats and all them old wood on them, what was there, and that is very, 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 very good. But I never talk about planting flowers on
culture. Yes. After they clean it up, what you was complimenting them about?
Mr. Baby, because I passed on that region day and I see this place clean up, so I have to give them my credit towards clean up because donkey years now and whatever is now.
You don't pass in
town. They never clean up. So, caller, get you facts straight.
I caller.
I give my flowers.
Okay, culture. All right, culture. Okay, culture. Don't warm up because the caller said maybe a long time you didn't go in St. George's. So he thought maybe it's the flowers they speak about. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Go right ahead, sister.
Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
If we used to vote NMP for the 150, we go always have to vote NMP for the 150. Because we have a lot of people what need. We have a lot who are children and who don't have children. They need the 150. So we go always have to vote back NMP to get the 150. Time will tell. So all what we're going to say is, time will tell. We will vote back NMP for the 150. Later.
Yes, scholar. Yesterday a woman was asking about the prayer warriors. I was trying to tell her sometimes I think it was in Israel, the people didn't have kings. And they complain, so they go to God, they say they want kings. And God gives them kings. And then they had some good kings and then bad kings. We had a government, the government won all the seats. Because the previous government they had a lot of infighting. So God must say, let me give a government all the seats for these people. And the government had all the seats and people say they want our opposition. And culture, and not culture, mostly. People say too much a handout is given to these people. They're giving them handout. They give them $150 more than they pay. They're helping disadvantaged children. They start a caregiving program to help old people. So even people in the international community say, no, this is a handout place. So God hear the cry, so God bring NDC. And reach NDC, they unsign the prayer warriors. They remove $150 from the elderly and the physically challenged. They remove the money from disadvantaged children. They fire a number of workers, over 2,000 workers lose their job because they say the government employ these people only because they want to win election. They threaten to fire the Imanis. They promise to build 500 houses every year in each parish. So that means Carrico alone going to get 2,000 houses after 4 years. But they claim that the people that give the house, they use a wrong method, so they take it back. And the NDC say, because people go and tell God, well, they're only helping the people. So the NDC introduced restorative justice. That is tantamount to political vengeance. And as culture say, he was very impressed that they clean up Lagoon Road and Granans, but he didn't say they plant flowers. He said they give it a nice cleaning, and that is transformation. So we have to understand. Sometimes we think God is a pipe. Every day we open pipe, water come out, this one come, we close it back. We can't confuse. You can't confuse God so. So when you ask something, remember, rain not falling in your house alone. So be careful what you ask for. You might get twice as much. People say they want opposition. Now you have a government, the government hiding from the press. And the press that like the government hiding from the government. So you can't get a press conference because Dr. Bob and the photogenic one, that is the two individuals or the two journalists that the government like. I don't know who hiding from who, but some hiding taking place. You had a previous government that you had press conference after every cabinet meeting. Today, you can get press conference. Even when the government says we're going to have a press conference, the government changed their mind. No answer. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my caller.
Mr. Pierre, first time in history, I know ministers do having a year in government yet, but they're borrowing money. I know from Mr. Carr, I know he'll come back down. GNP and all this party and them. They never practice that. You understand? You don't have a year in office yet to just come first time you run for politics and you want money borrow. That is the worst history what ever passed in Grenada. The NDC bring it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, scholar. Well, I was informed that they had the press conference, but they had it early, and it was a very short press conference. The government policy is information will be given based upon if they believe you need to know. So you have a short press conference, they tell you what they tell you, and they say it's that. So that is the government we have. Caller have to remember that the National Democratic Congress have a history of hostility against people in the lower income group, the elderly, the physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. Every time NDC come in power, and you could go back to see what they did in 1990. You could go and see what they did in 2008. And in this period, 2022, well, it is clear what they are doing. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, you didn't listen to the press conference?
No, I didn't. I just heard that they have it.
Well, Mr. Pierre, they asked, one of the media asked the Mr. Cohen a question. The Prime Minister pick up the mic and answer the question, you know. Because he put it how he wants it. He don't let Mr. Cohen answer the question, you know. Well, I never see. So I see him, you know, I see him. So I say, what happened to Mr. Cohen? He can't answer the question. Huh?
Maybe he's like a dumb-driven cattle.
Answer his question.
Maybe he's a dumb-driven cattle, so the Prime Minister can't afford for him to answer the question.
The Prime Minister put it how he wants it, so let the media take it and let the people take it how we want it. It makes Mr. It answer Mr. Cohen question for him, you know. A big man as Mr. Cohen, he say he go in and just only ask or go to King him because as he go in and they put the acting one. Ask Mr. Cohen a question. The man pick up the mic and tell he got to answer Mr. Cohen question. Well, look at that.
Well, you see, he a big man and he a big yam, you know.
Yes, a lot.
A lot of men you see in town saying them is big man.
I sit down there and I said,
Big yam.
what happened to this man? Mr. Cohen gave me how many 30-something years so he can't answer a question? I just can't understand what's going on with this man. No man is only giving you what you want to hear. Not what he wants, what you want to hear.
Well, he said that is the government policy.
Yeah, later.
Yeah. I did not hear the press conference. I might have to go back and, based upon my time, so I have to go back to listen to it. It's a very good thing that most of these things are on social media, and you could go it. But the level of disrespect to the Grenadian people shown by this National Democratic Congress is practically legendary. I've never seen it before. That's a new era. And as a result, a number of moderate NDC is embarrassed. And they are left speechless. And those that used to be talking, their mouth shut. They lost their ability to speak. Even my good friend, the strategic expert on public policy analyst, his significance is diluted, as if these individuals don't recognize they have a professional reputation to defend. Some individuals call themselves journalists, and as if they don't realize, because of the easy access to social media, you don't have to go to university to be a journalist anymore. You're going to find personalities turning journalists overnight. And they have to be careful that their significance will be diluted. And that's some of the challenges we have. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yes, I know how the lady talk about the question for the man to answer. And he couldn't answer a question. But I don't know why people don't speak like that. She don't sure the man can answer the question. The other man feel he's the boss to take over. And that what, people must know when they're speaking what they say.
But why did he come on the press conference? If a question is targeted to him,
yes,
then he that had to answer.
Well,
because he was brought on the press conference.
Well, the question targeted to him. But if you don't get the chance, the man that is the prime minister, once he run in front and he take over.
Yeah, you have
sometimes
to.
he don't get, well, I don't sure because you don't get the chance to answer.
Okay, so you mean he could have answered, but he was not given the opportunity to answer.
That could be just the same.
Well, that happened.
Yes, Mr. Yeah, that could be just the same. So,
Yeah, it could be.
So that, when people think, I won't just say the man can't answer the question all these years he did.
But he wasn't given the opportunity.
That, I feel it could be just the same. If he get the opportunity, regardless of how he answer the question.
But it is the history of the prime minister. Because I think in one instance, some minister of culture was asked a question and the prime minister directed the question to another individual who not even in the cabinet.
Well, yes, because the prime minister always feel he's the boss and he's more educated than everybody else.
Or maybe he don't have much respect for the other individuals.
All that in it.
He think they kind of dumb.
All right, so have a good evening.
Yes, caller,
yes,
welcome.
All right, later.
Yeah, this is the challenges we have. But as we say, you can give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. And remember, you don't have to agree with us. And you could call and call back. We just encourage you to punch. But we always encourage people to sit down and settle problems and have discussion. And we pointed out you have to start in the homes. And sometimes you involve the little children in the homes in coming up with solution. You culture them to think. So if the water leaking in the pipe, your son in school, whether 9 or 10 years, don't have to wait to go and get father to deal with a plumber. Perhaps he could lock off the water to prevent, to drop the amount of money that you're paying for the utility. But that would take place if you discuss it with them. The fan in the room, anyone would cut it off because they know no one is using the fan. So let us conserve energy. The person who goes to wash clothes in the washing machine might decide, let me fill it to capacity. So we cut down on the amount of energy. This discussion have to go on. Your child is going to school and you want to make certain that your child have the best education. So instead of we pull in here and there, we discuss the issue. Welcome, caller. Punch.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my sister.
You are the host of the program, eh?
Yeah.
I have a suggestion. I don't know if you want to take it as an advice.
Go right ahead.
But when Culture Man calls the program, I am not telling you to cut him off. But you must give Culture Man a limit. Culture Man is not bringing anything constructive, anything worthy of listening to the program. You asking Culture Man a question, and he not answering. Culture Man, once Culture Man start to speak, he speak, talk, and he's not listening. I doubt Culture Man does listen to himself. The thing about it, on our programs, and listen to what I'm saying, on our program, because these are our programs. Your program, well, all the programs that have been held on RealFM, Sheldon program, Royalty James program, that is where the facts and the truth have been laid out for the general public and for the world at large. The truth and the facts. When they call and you ask them a question as it relates to the truth and the facts that you would have been put out, they cannot answer. They cannot challenge it. But what you would find is that persons are calling other programs and feeling or saying that what we are saying is not true and the world is listening. Well, my thing to them today, the world is listening to Culture Man with his nonsense. So if what we are saying, the world is listening, and they're trying to say that what we are saying is not true as it relates to the present administration, with Culture Man and his nonsense, the world is listening, and these are things we should not tolerate on the program. Culture Man has nothing to that persons could say, well, okay, well, I heard Culture Man say that, and yes, what he says is true. he gave a good advice, a good suggestion. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And it's time, Mr. Pierre, you take charge of your program as it relates to Culture Man in particular. I'm not telling you to cut him off, but give him a limited time. Give him a limited time. Do not allow him to stray and run down the road. You have persons who want to call and make meaningful contribution to the program. Culture Man, and you're listening, this is my message to you. Enough is enough. Do better than that. Enough is enough. We had enough of you.
Thank you, caller.
Mr. Pierre, I'm listening.
Thank you, caller. Now, Real FM is one of the best radio stations in Grenada. Real FM is one of the most objective radio stations in Grenada. Real FM invites the opposition time and time again. Real FM will invite the opposition to come on radio. You have a number of people on Real FM that run independent programs. So because the National Democratic Congress have been making so much rudimentary mistakes, it might seem that everybody that on a program is propagating NNP story. But it's not so. Individuals run independent program on Real FM, and Real FM encourage all and sundry to exchange ideas. I like the idea that Real FM encourage all the people who run programs on the station to be respectful. Andre always pointing out that issue. Respectful to the politicians. Even if you hear on other stations the cussing politician, and particular Kit Mitchell, Gregory Bowen, Peter Pedro, and the others, you have heard the worst things said about them. Real FM do not tolerate people disrespect. And I like that. That's why it's easy for me to function on. On target, I encourage people to express their views. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. And I disagree with policy positions of the government. So you might hear NDC do something and I don't bother with it. It's neither here nor there because they will make mistakes, but I disagree with their policy position. So you hear me criticize the government every day on restorative justice. I think that is a political crime. I don't agree with that. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. Oh, we lost that caller. On fundamental issues. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hi, I'll talk to you in a while. Mr. Pierre, pleasant good afternoon.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, there, man. Everything cool with you?
Yeah, great.
Let me first start. Culture Man is a partner of mine. I mean, we suffer, we struggle during the revolution and whatnot together, right? And I appreciate whatever level he may have. I don't like the idea of how people like to criticize one another.
But I just said that, you know.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Okay,
I just addressed
that.
I
applaud you on your comments that you were making probably last 10, 15, 20 minutes ago. So you know what has happened? What I just get vexed with? What does get me pissed off? A man Paul, he say he call him from Grand Dance, and he's trying to talk much about what's happening in Grand Dance and whatnot. Another one call, he criticizing and whatnot, etc. So I am not against criticism, but if your criticism is baseless.
But who determines that? You see, that is a challenge we have here. Who determines?
So hold on. The challenge we have there is the criticism must come with its facts. Okay? And if you don't have the facts to back your criticism, then don't come with the facts. You see, this is what I'm saying. But I love criticism. Criticism makes me stronger. Mr. Pierre, let me tell you something. Culture Man, I just want to send a message here to Culture Man now.
Why? Culture Man, listen.
Hold on, listen.
Hold on a while. You see, the challenge is, listen to me. The challenge is when you're taking on another caller. And the sister did it. You could take me on, you could criticize me, you could condemn what I say. But try and avoid.
Try and call me Culture Man so I could get a number so that we could talk.
Try and avoid condemning other callers.
Yeah, I won't have much time.
But you could condemn me.
I'm I'm not on a landline. I am privileged to
All
that.
right,
But
okay.
I am a man. I lost a foot and it's one foot I have. And I still burn in coals. I still drive in my taxi. I still doing X amount of things and whatnot. And to be dependent on and criticizing for 150 and them kind of nonsense. And hearing people talking this nonsense.
Caller.
I enjoying it. That must stop because people just calling and diverting your conversation from one into a political thing. And so you continue with this political thing all the rest of your life until NDC time and election come. And nonsense, no man.
Caller. Thank you very much. The removal of the 150 from the elderly is a crime. The government deceived the people. The National Democratic Congress deceived the elderly, the marginalized. The government did it in 1990. They fired the people from the estates. And then the private sector joined in. And some people lost their work. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
Good afternoon, on-target listeners. Mr. Pierre, this morning, I didn't get a chance to listen to the press conference. I was kind of busy. But I did get a chance to listen Honorable Dennis Cornwall on the GBN to the Point program. And do you know, I will always advocate for people to listen to all programs, be it who, listen to all programs. Because that's the only how you can gauge what is true and what is not. But to the unsuspecting listeners who, for whatever reason, listen to the popular NDC Mode piece this morning and listen to what Cornwall says, do you know that Minister Cornwall basically put that guy under the bus? And that's how, this is what I'm talking about, how misinformation will be spread and how it is being taken in. You understand? Concerning this tax amnesty from IMS, what the IMS was talking about. This guy actually said that this one will be the last. Going forward, there will be no more. Right? And the amnesty, as I see it, only helps out the businessmen who are not paying the taxes. This thing is not so much about the poor man and the government who owe tax on the house. And I say, everybody should be paying the taxes. Right? There's no excuse for that. But what is the excuse for the big businessman not paying his taxes, especially a former businessman that is now a government minister? What is your excuse?
I could tell you the excuse.
You are making money.
I could tell you the excuse. In 2000,
these are the things we have to look at. It is becoming right now that we normalizing corruption, and it just in our face, and we can't do nothing but it because a certain amount of people in office, and they have number 10 now, and they just do what they want. Come on, great, we can do better than that. Let's go inside. Let's live. Let's enjoy ourselves. But if one set of people in society is benefiting and the other set is not benefiting, where's the heart? This present administration, their logo is the heart. Where is it? And that's it.
Yes, caller. The NDC have a lot of heart, but it's for who? And I think one of the biggest mistakes we're making in Grenada, believe that when a government have a policy, the policy is for everybody. So the people in Grenada get tricked. They believe the NDC policies for everybody. The National Democratic Congress deceive and trick the elderly. And as I said, they did it in 1990. And in 2008, they used an elderly person, parade him on the television and social media to advise or to campaign that if you vote for NDC, you're going to get $400. The man was from St. Patrick's. And when NDC reached in power, they never increased the money to $400. Instead, they significantly reduced the number of people on the program. And in Paraclete alone, 5 women were removed. One of them is a centurion today. 2 of them is still alive. 5 of them was removed from the program. The National Democratic Congress promised to raise the Imani pay to $1,000. They tricked these young people. The program they hated the most, they lied to them. They went in a lab and planned a lie and present it like a law. And the Imani vote for them in waves. And they fire the Imani. In 2022, in the campaign, the National Democratic Congress claimed that it will raise the money to $600. They quote World Health Organization. They damn the previous government for not doing it. And when the NDC come in power, they remove $150. That is a political crime. That is immoral. That is deceitful. And that is wrong. They use an excuse that the previous government put it for election. The NNP have no history of removing or reducing pay. Remember, in 2008, the NDC took out $10 from road workers. So the NDC have a history of doing that. This excuse we're talking about the government budget, this is total nonsense and unacceptable. The government should return the money you take from the people. The NDC took away the money from them with violence. They set them up. They told them in the month of December, after they presented the budget, that they will get the money would continue. And in January, they remove it. They gave the people no notice. And some of them shed tears in the street. I don't know why anybody could agree with that. I take the strongest objection to anyone who claims they have tertiary education that could stoop so low to deceive the elderly, the physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. Cultureman know of children in St. John and Got. He said that the parents was getting the money and not going to school. So he said, take the money from them. He well glad. What's going to happen to these communities? The violence level is going to increase. Social decadence is going to increase. Go to the Caribbean and search for some of the challenges that young people have. One of them is access to high quality education and lack of employment and youth participation in society. The writing is on the wall. As a people, if we turn way back on the marginalized, I don't asking you, you're going to have increased violence in Jamaica, in a number of parishes. The government running it by state of emergencies. I saw a photo a posting on the social media where some guys walking in a church with a cutlass, big bright daylight, robbing the church. They put something like a scarf around their face. In some countries, people robbing you in big bright daylight. When the government of the day is hostile against the elderly in society, it serves as a springboard for people to take advantage on the elderly. The elderly is vulnerable. Remember, in St. Patrick's Day, 15 to 16 people die in a home during COVID-19 because we say Jab had the rights. The people never left the home, They were not the ones who got infected. Other people got infected and bring the infection to the house, to the home. And 15 to 16 of them died. An elderly man left the home. I understand only some women go and look for them. The police don't even go. And if the police want to challenge me Tell the police, tell the public what you did to look for him. I don't think they get him yet. They chop up another man from St. Patrick's. I'd spoken to him. He said the police and all abandoned him. They stole no more in the land. There are a number of increased incidents where people take advantage on the elderly. And the National Democratic Congress help to facilitate this process. It's not them alone, but because of the despicable verbal actions, because of the policy, because of the history of always attacking the elderly, anytime anything power, you find increase in a negative attitude towards the elderly. I don't know how you all could support that. The government do not have a cash flow problem. If the excuse given, or the reason given, or the justification given for putting $150 by the NNP was economics, if the reason that the Minister of Social Affairs said in December why it will continue was economics, then the government have to have balls. The government have to have guts. The government have to have moral scruple and tell us what is the economic justification. Did the NNP budget $2,000 for the present government to give for traveling? Did the NNP budget $70 million to set up MIT, restorative justice, a whole ministry for political mischief? Did the NNP budget over $1 million spent for this government to be traveling as if them is some little children that's on holidays? Did the NNP budget money for them to bring their spouse away? How could we use that as an excuse? The government have a moral responsibility to provide an economic justification or return the money to the people. I have difficulties. Sometimes when I look at some of our intellectuals in this country, our dons with borrowed feathers, I only see you all with contempt. That's why men like Mandela spend years in prison, Mahatma Gandhi, and all the other people who fought for people at great sacrifice to themselves and their family. No, you people make no sacrifice. I see all you as greedy. And people who show, and we come to the end of our program, so we're back with you tomorrow again for another opportunity to punch. Thank you.